Well, the Paradise Papers are a leak of 13 plus million documents, most of them from a offshore law firm called Appleby that describe myriad details about the dealings of the rich and famous and their accounts held in the offshore world. And the reason this is important is a huge chunk of the world's wealth is held offshore in these mostly shadowy jurisdictions where they have extremely low taxes and high tolerance for secrecy. The wealth that's placed basically hidden in these havens is wealth that's untaxed and taken out of the public treasure of countries around the world, leaving regular people with a paycheck to make up the difference. It contributes to global inequality in a huge way. I mean, we're talking about some studies have shown as much as a third of the world's wealth is held offshore. And it's unsustainable. And it's only possible because of a handful of jurisdictions like the Isle of Man and Jersey and Mauritius and Bermuda and the Cayman Islands that tolerate this kind of secrecy and this kind of opaque setup. So the reason I think this resonates is that people I think understand intuitively, instinctively the importance of hidden wealth, and I think that's why they respond to it. It's about changing narratives, introducing new narratives. Offshore tax havens is not anything that any institution in the world is particularly interested in bringing to the public's attention. Only journalism will do that. Again, the Treasury Department doesn't want to do it. Wells Fargo doesn't want to do it. JP Chase doesn't want to do it. Appleby certainly does not want this on the public agenda, and now it is, and it has been over the course of several of these kind of miraculous, gigantic data leaks. So that in itself, I think, is just a positive thing, whether anything ever changes or not. So that's number one, and the sort of a corollary to that, which I always think is the most underrated aspect of journalism, is that one of its key core functions, I think, is to explain complex problems to a mass audience. So what this does is, even if nothing happens, you have sort of helped this literate citizen address some of the complexity of their time, to understand the complexities of their age, and I think that in that way have empowered them. So I think that's actually a legitimate good all by itself. Even if nothing changes, at least we're all a little bit the wiser. This project had been underway for months. I don't even know when it started. I obviously I was innocent of any knowledge of what these folks were up to, but over the summer, for the final push, they apparently needed somebody to, help guide stories over the finish line, essentially. But if this is going to work at all, this being democracy, I mean, I'm sorry, but the last 10 years of internet disruption has proved to me more than anything that the need for a strong, professional journalism function has to be, is absolutely critical for the life of democracy. And I'm sorry, but if I don't see a coincidence in this, in the weakness of democracy and the weakness of journalism coming exactly at the same time.